In this video, we are asked to find the surface area of a castle. Kind of a unusual request. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of walk you through how I did the calculation. Hopefully you've had a chance to try it. If you want, you can pause the video and try some things on your own and then circle back with me. The first thing I'm gonna do is find the surface area of the roof. Okay, so here's the roof, and I'll save this part for the next step. This roof here is shown from an aerial view here. Okay, so what do I notice? I notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. And the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. This is going to be 36 as well. This is going to be 36 because I could see from here that's 36 across, right? So it looks like we have a square at the top. So 1/2 base times height, but there's 4 triangles. So for the left part of the roof, I have 1/2 base times height times those 4 triangles, and I get 1,728. Okay, now the next thing I did is found from an aerial view the surface area of the cone, okay? Now remember, when we talked about the stuff in the last video, when we unwrap the top of a cone, it's like this weird shape, right? It's like this. It's like unwrapping a party hat. So I'm not looking at a circle necessarily. I'm looking at unwrapping the top part of the cone. The top part of that cone, remember the formula was pi r L. L was the slant height. So here I have pi, r is the radius, which is why it's showing me the 8 here, but the slant height is 18. So pi RL is the top part of this party hat unwrapped. That's gonna give me 452. So here's the front, here's the back. Okay, now I wanna do the actual castle itself. So I'm looking at the front of the castle, and that's gonna match with the back of the castle. So the front is going to be 60 by 36, and there's 2 of those sides, but I should also have done this maybe in one step. The left and the right side of the castle are also the same dimensions. I know it's going to be 60 tall, and because this is a square, 36 wide. So 2 times 60 times 36, 2 times 36 times 60. You could have done 4 times 60 by 36. That gets you these 2 measurements here. Okay, now the only other thing we have to do is unravel this cylinder part, this lateral part of the cylinder. Remember we said in the last video, if I unwrap this part of a cylinder, I actually get a rectangle. So unwrapping this looks like this. I have a height of 60, right? But unwrapping the top, this is really the circumference that used to be wrapped around this cone. So this part here is the circumference that it just unravels into a rectangle. The circumference is 2 pi r. We know the radius is 8. So I'm doing basically length times width. So 60 times 2 pi times 8 to get this number. I'm then just adding up all of the surfaces that I've highlighted, and I'm coming out with this answer here. And I would strongly encourage you to double check my math. Sometimes I make mistakes. And if I do, just email me and let me know if you think I made a mistake. Okay, now your answer could be slightly off due to rounding. Again, we talked about the problems with using pi. Button versus 3.14. As long as you're roughly in the ballpark, we're good. The one thing I will let you know is that because in like real life, the castle would be sitting on the ground, I did not include the surfaces that were attached to the ground, right? Think of there's a bunch of grass here, right? So the actual amount of the castle that's showing, I only calculated that. I didn't include what was on the ground because theoretically you wouldn't be able to see that. And if I were to ever ask you that on a test or quiz, I would be very explicit with what I would want you to calculate or not. Okay, so I hope that helped. Try it on your own, go through it, and let me know if you have any questions at all. Good luck.